So here we are with Dr. P. McCall Robinson and my day one review of the Daily Stoic. As you know, we'll be going through 366 days, our 366 meditations on wisdom, perseverance, and the art of living. So each day I'll be going through what the Stoics say and giving you my best psychological spin on that, because we all know Stoicism has a philosophy foundation, and I'm in love with philosophy, very, very close to psychology. So let's get started. For the month of January, January is all about clarity. So you cannot achieve anything, get anywhere in life without being clear about your direction. So we're setting goals. It's the beginning of the new year, all these things. So clarity, the month of January. So let's all get clear together. January 1st, this is all about control and choice. So I'll just be reading directly to you and going line by line and giving you my little spin and spiel as I would if I was referring to clients. And oftentimes I do go back and forth with things like this. And it was from one of my fabulous clients that actually gave me the idea about going through this book to give my different take on it. So here we go, and thank you. So, Epictetus, all right? The chief task in life is simply this: to identify and separate matters so that I can say clearly to myself which are externals, not under my control. What are we talking about today? Control and choice. So this is basically saying the ability to identify separate things that are under your control or not, period. That's what we need to know, okay? And which have to do with the choices I actually control. So I can say clearly to myself which are externals, not under my control, and which have to do with the choices I actually control. So oftentimes it's this push and this pull in life every day, in relationships, in business, in work. There's always this sense of someone's trying to get control. And sometimes we're trying to control things we absolutely cannot. When then do I look for good and evil? Question. Not to uncontrollable externals, but within myself, to the choices that are my own. So again, with that, and so deep, and again, that's Epictetus, where he's saying, when then do I look for good and evil? Not uncontrollable externals, but within myself. A lot of times I'm always telling my clients, you have to look in the mirror first and ask yourself, why am I having this experience? Whether it's good or bad or evil, whatever we call it, it's an experience. And the first step is, what can I control and what choice did I make? Or what choice do I have to remain in this situation or continue with these things, this person, this situation, whatever it is? We have to first identify within ourselves, not outside of ourselves, but in me. What the heck am I doing here? And now I have a choice, okay? So the single most important practice in Stoic philosophy is differentiating between what we can change and what we can't. When we get that down, people all over the world, wherever you are, when you get that piece down, what can I change and what I can't? It's relieving, it's relaxing, it's peaceful, it's a lot of peace of mind. Trust me, I am a Scorpio, and if you know any of us, like, we need to control everything. It's peace of mind. So, what we have influence over and what we do not. Relationships, think about this. Man, I can't control this. I can't control this person. I can't control my boss. Whatever it is, I have to make a decision about what do I want to do. Perfect example. This one's my favorite. A flight is delayed because of the weather. All too often, what do we see? Mr. or Mrs. Entitlement next to us in seat A wants to yell and scream. No amount of yelling at the airline representative will end a storm. So the people's like me just sit back and, good thing I had, a beverage or two before I got on the plane. Got a great book. I'm just sitting back and relaxing, just waiting, I can't control the storm. So therefore, I just sit and chill. What is the person screaming and yelling at the flight attendants about? They cannot control the weather. Oh yeah, they can't control mechanical issues either. They can't control delays. They can't control the weather in another state. They can't control any of that. But what we try to do is control them some way, somehow, by thinking and making the choice to start yelling and screaming, because that's somehow going to make the plane take off faster. You know what? This isn't a restaurant. This isn't one of those places where you can walk in and the loudest person gets service faster. That happens sometimes. But on the airplane, you're going to get escorted out in handcuffs. And you're going to be embarrassed when you get off that gate. And, you know, the people in badges are waiting on you. So, and everybody's going to record it. So you'll be famous. But it changes nothing. And you're probably are even 2 or 3 or 4 days later than what you initially would have been had you just sat down and tried not to control the situation, right? All right, moving on. No amount of wishing will make you taller or shorter or born in a different country. No amount of wishing can change. We cannot control the skin we are in at all. And we can't control how tall we are. However, you can put on some higher shoes, a couple platforms, things like that. That's a choice. Like, okay, I'm short. I'm all right with that. Let me just put on some high heels. You know, platform shoe, a wedge. I don't know, right? Those are the kind of things. No matter how hard you try, you can't make someone like you. Can't do it, you know? So all the hoping and wishing and stalking and DMing and spells and whatever we go through to try to make someone like us, we cannot control how they feel about us, right? There's a piece of us that wants to control that situation and try to be so likable. But the only thing we can do is choose to be our very most authentic self. And if the person chooses to like us back, yay, hip, hip, hooray. But there is no sim, salabim that's going to make somebody just, boop, now they like you. It doesn't work like that. You can save yourself a lot of time and peace of mind. All right. And on top of that, time spent hurling yourself at these immovable objects is not time spent on the things we can change. So how often do we spend time, again, thinking and staying up late at night and stressing about things we cannot change? Save yourself some peace of mind, some time, some extra energy to put into something you can control, something that you are truly passionate about, that's going to return you some sort of benefit, you know, in your favor. The recovery community practices something called the Serenity Prayer. And all of those that may be a part of this community, and I say even if you're not, a lot of us know and understand this very basic part of the Serenity Prayer, the very beginning. The God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. So if you want to insert whoever else where God is, that's fine. But let's just see if we can get past that and say, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. That is step number 1. That is going within first to say, just give it up, P. Accept you cannot change this, that, or the third. Accept that first, right? Then the courage to change the things I can. Now change, when you can control it, does take courage to make shifts. It does take courage to say, okay, I have been a bit of a wreck and I need to make some changes. That's hard to look in the mirror and say, this is something that I need to do, but we do. So, and the next part, the most famous, and the wisdom to know the difference. Huge, okay? First of all, let me be able to accept those things I cannot change, okay? The courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. What can I change? What can I change? Bingo. Addicts cannot change the abuse suffered in childhood. Let's not even just pinpoint this and scrunch this into addicts. Okay, this is everyone, okay? Childhood abuse and trauma and things like that, we cannot change that, what has happened. So we get to have the choice to say, do I want to stay in that and mix and mesh and fester? Or do I choose to go forward from here, right? They cannot, we Let me not even say they as in addicts. That's what I would change here. We cannot undo the choices others have made that have caused harm to us, right? But we can change the future through the power we have in the present moment. So all of this says they and them, but I'm saying we and us. We can change that. We can shift that. We can make the decision to live in the present and control our future. We cannot control the past. Now, how do we choose to let that consume us? That's on us. That is a choice. It's a very, very, very big choice. So people are going to be like, oh my God, to be traumatized is not a choice. No. See, the action of being traumatized is not a choice. That is what someone has inflicted on you. Now, how you choose to move forward, whether that's making the choice, having the courage to go look in, having the courage to get help, having the courage to actually listen to your therapist and apply those techniques outside of that office, that's where the work is. That is the choice. Because I tell my clients all the time, child, there are 24 hours in a day. I get 50, 60 minutes with you. That is a grain of sand, okay, on the beach, and how much time I get to spend with you. So the real work happens outside of me, happens outside of my office. That's where you get to have the courage and the choice to say, you know what? Dr. McCall Robinson was telling me something today. Now I have the opportunity to apply that. That takes courage, and that is a choice. And that's how we move forward from what people have done to us. All right. As Epictetus said, they can control the choices they make right now. That is all. The same is true for us today. If we can focus on making clear what parts of our day are within our control and what parts are not, we will not only be happier, we will have a distinct advantage over other people who fail to realize they are fighting an unwinnable battle. For those of you who just missed that, okay, big point. Not only will we be happier, we will have a distinct advantage over other people who fail to realize they are fighting an unwinnable battle. So while we're fighting people and trying to control people, the minute you let go, you can receive and realize, oh my gosh, how peaceful this space is. And you're much more happier than the people that are actually in this little battle with you. You may not even have any idea. Lastly, that I absolutely love to say all the time is, with trauma and history of things that are happening or have happened to us, and our parents are the first people that etch into us the way we're going to behave and trust or not trust. Remember, you're born looking like your parents, but you die looking like your decisions. Tune in next time.